My name is Candace Valenzuela, and it is incredible it's also devastating to follow the other Latina that's leading the field in her race. I am leading the field to flip Texas's 24th district. And when I get elected, I will be making history as the first Black Latina woman ever to be elected to the United States Congress anywhere. In order to do something like that, you have to be persistent. You have to be up for a fight, and I have been my whole life. In order to know why I'm running, you need to know a little bit about me. I am fourth generation, 3.5, depending on who you ask. My great-grandfather came over here from Durango, Mexico, to El Paso and fought in World War I. Both my grandfathers fought in World War II. And my mom and my dad, they met at Fort Bliss. My mom used to fix planes and my dad used to jump out of them. But things didn't always go well for us, and we found ourselves one night without a home. And we found ourselves in different places. We found ourselves at a homeless shelter, relatives' couches, and one of our worst nights we were living in a kiddie pool outside of a gas station. But my mom was able to pull some stuff together, and she did that through help that came from our government. We got food stamps in the form of the Lone Star card. We got housing through HUD, and public education, public schools. My elementary school became a home for me. And so when my mom figured out it conferred some stability, even as we bounced around, she tried to keep us in the same cohort of schools, and I think that's how I became the first in my family to go to college. I went to Claremont McKenna College in California, and it was an incredible experience. It's about as close to studying abroad as you can get for Texans. And I majored in government and ended up graduating into the recession. And as I graduated into the recession, I was able to find a job in my field, so I took on a job. And then I took on another job. And then I took on another job, all in education. I was working as an SAT tutor, I worked as a college career consultant, I worked as inclusion specialist in special ed. I actually helped take school pictures and I had elementary schools sneeze into my ear. Schoolers, yeah, it was adorable and disgusting at the same time. And it actually turned out to be one of the best educations I could think of, because I got this incredible survey of schools. I worked with kids in public schools, in private schools, in charter schools, kids who were homeschooled tennis pros. And what I came to figure out in this experience, that public education, with a few notable, really expensive exceptions, was the best return on investment you could get. So I brought that information with me when I came back to Texas. Now, side note, I met a Texan in California, if you could believe it. There were two of us. And he said that by law, we had to move back to Texas in order to have Texan babies. And I thought that was sound logic as a Texan. And so I ended up moving back here, and we got married, we had our first son, and I was looking at our public schools, and this was around the time Trump got elected. And there were a couple of things happening there. I was looking at the school district and I was saying, okay, there's a lot of good things happening here, but we can do better. This was a majority-minority school district, but there was only one African American and one Latino of their respective ethnicities, and they were the first. And they hadn't been there for very long. This was a majority at-risk school district. Most of these kids were on free and reduced lunch, and most of the people on the board hadn't experienced that. When they thought that parents weren't coming in enough for PTA night or for parent-teacher organization functions, they thought that they were lazy. When I knew that, a lot like my mother, she didn't have a choice in the shifts that she worked. And a lot of parents who are millennials and Gen X, they're working a lot more than they used to. They're waiting so long to have kids because they just can't get a foothold on income stability.